The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Well, I tell you what, I'm a big fan of hot foods and in particular fresh chili, and I've been trying to grow my own chilies for over the past couple of years with some reasonable success, but a little bit of searching online for how to grow chilies and what sort of varieties of chilies out there threw up all kinds of links in this whole other kind of world out there of chili growing and chili making and chili sauces. And one of the links that it threw up was a link to an outfit called Fire Dragon Chilies up in the Hokianga. And it turns out they're trying to grow the world's hottest chili right here in New Zealand. The chap behind it all is Clint Meyer, and he's with us in the Kiwi studio. Why not? G'day there, Clint.
Hey Glenn, how you going?
Good, all the way from the Hokianga. Well, a nice sort of a harbour view place in the Hokianga, I'm imagining, or whereabouts are you situated there?
No, we're actually up a valley, so we're sort of in the middle of the native bush up there, a few hundred metres above sea level. So
a little bit of land.
Yeah, a little bit of land, but yeah, pretty much in the bush. So yeah, 25 minutes and you're at the harbour.
What got you into growing chilies as opposed to, I don't know, olive trees?
Always had a bit of a passion for the hot foods, you know, starting off with the sauces like Tabasco and Kaitaia Fire and stuff, but pretty much travelling through Southeast Asia and then North America, Central and South America pretty much got me hooked, and I got burnt many times and kind of got hooked.
I can imagine. I think New Zealanders, particularly older generations, had a kind of an aversion to hot food, didn't they? We weren't really brought up on it. We had to sort of discover it for ourselves.
Yeah, and you see it. I do a market up at Kerikeri up north, and the old people pretty much just shy away, look at the faces on the labels on the bottles, and they're out of there. Yeah. The younger generation have no fear at all of the chili. I mean, I get 8, 9, 10-year-olds going into my Dragon's Fury, which I thought I'd put an R20 on it to start with, but apparently it's not that hot for some of these kids these days.
Really?
Have to make a hotter one.
So what amazed me is that there isn't just your standard cayenne pepper or whatever you call it, or a jalapeno. There are so many other chilies out there, and I'd imagine you've almost probably gone on a worldwide search to find the various different varieties out there.
Yeah, well, I think there's somewhere between 2,000 to 3,000 different varieties of chilies, and they do cross-pollinate quite easily. So if you've got one type next to another type, and you know, you get your little bee or your whatever landing on one and going on to the next one, they'll cross very easily, so your seeds will be a hybrid.
Mutant chilies. Basically,
yeah, mutant chilies. So there's a few mutant ones that have popped up out of India where the Bhut Jolokia, which sort of was the old hottest, or it's one of the hottest in the world. It's basically the ghost chili, serpent chili. There's a few black pods and that have popped up, and I've managed to get a hold of some of those seeds. So we're just trying to grow these chocolate and black bhutts at the moment, and we'll see. Now
you brought in some bhutts this morning of various colours. Tell us about these.
Well, here's the chocolate bhut, basically. Only just started ripening up this week, really, and
it's kind of like a dark brown, sort of deep red colour.
Yeah, very dark brown. Yeah. It might even turn to black over the next few days. They do ripen up once you sort of pick them off.
And it's not shaped like a normal chili like you'd expect as well. It's more of a shriveled capsicum type.
Yeah, the hottest ones tend to be very wrinkly. They've even got little sort of spikes coming out of them, and the ones that seem to have these little tails, like a little sort of stinger on the bottom.
See, without a lot of chili knowledge, I would have looked at a shriveled kind of thing like that and thought, oh, it's a bit old, something has gone wrong with the process of growing it. But you say that is exactly how they should be.
Well, I mean, I just think they are pretty damn hot. They don't look so... Well, they do actually look quite nasty. I tell you what, I wouldn't just go chomping down on that without about a litre of milk handy anyway. Yeah. But they're also coming out in different colours. Like you got this yellow one here as well, which is a lot sort of fruitier flavour. You can take a bite if you want to try one.
I'm not so sure I'm game. Before we finish the interview, I wouldn't be able to carry on. I don't think. Because I would say, okay, that's really hot. That's hot. That's kind of mild. But surely there's a better way of describing how hot chilies actually are. Is there an official kind of index?
Yeah, they have a Scoville chart, basically, that was sort of invented in the early 1900s.
From Thomas Scoville or something?
Yeah, his name was Scoville anyway. It was early 1900s, and basically they break down the chili to per parts of water. So these ones now are hitting 1 million Scovilles, so that's 1 part chili for 1 million parts of water until you can't taste the chili. So they used to use people to test it, but obviously the more you tested it, the more you couldn't really, the more you could handle.
You work up a resistance, don't you?
Yeah, and it's addictive too, so once you start getting on the chili, you've got to have it every day.
I'm so glad you said that, because years ago I got on the radio and I said, I admit something, I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and I need to go and have some Tabasco sauce. This hasn't happened recently, this used to happen to me. I think I went through an addiction phase of Tabasco sauce. So it's true, you can get addicted to that taste, that feeling.
Yeah, I haven't quite got to that stage yet, I hear a few people like that with the old whiskey bottle too beside the bed. But
one's got to be healthier than the other, I'm sure.
I need to have some for breakfast though, or at least by lunchtime, otherwise, I'm not in a very happy mood.
So going back to that Scoville Index, so it used to be people who would taste it as with that water mixture, and now is it more of a scientific process?
Yeah, now it's done by machine, but it's, there's nowhere really in the southern hemisphere that tests them, so you need to send them to the UK or the US. And the whole hottest chili in the world's getting quite competitive and getting a little bit nasty, I'm hearing at the moment.
Is there a chili world out there, a lot of scoundrels, underhand tactics?
Yeah, a few people just trying to cash in on what the next hottest chili in the world will be. Certain people stealing other people's chilies, changing the name, getting the website. Yeah, a bit of sabotage, Won't say any names, it's all a bit of, Chinese whispers and that, but yeah, it sounds like it's getting a little bit nasty out there and getting quite hard for us people down in the southern hemisphere to get our chilies actually tested.
Well, because it's not just, as you say, not just people in East Asia or anywhere like that growing these, because I did see on YouTube someone in England, there's a chili club of some kind, and they were in a pub and they were trying to eat them with a cold beer. Quite amusing to watch, go search for that. So there's this worldwide community of chili growers and enthusiasts out there.
Yeah, and I guess it's getting bigger all the time as well. Even New Zealand, there seems to be a lot more chili growers and a lot more people doing chili sauces now, more little boutique-y and small companies basically starting up. The UK has been getting the hottest in the world. I think they're growing them down the south of Spain.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're just sort of, because they've got the testing there. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you had a chili tested in India, it could probably rate just as high as some of these other ones. But it all depends if you can get them tested or not and find out what your Scoville rating is. And
you said that the ones you got in front of us there, the various colours, they're all around the 1 million Scoville rating.
They can be, grown at sort of optimum conditions, more indoor than outdoor. The hotter the temperature, the hotter the chili. Once the fruit's set on the plants, you can cut the water back pretty much completely
and makes them hotter.
Stress them out a bit more. But then you don't want to stress them too much. But the more stress they're under, the hotter they should be.
Sounds like a fine balancing act. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit like quite a fine balancing act. And I mean, the only way to know how hot they are at the moment is to eat them.
Well, that's right. But you not only have them as they are as chilies, but also you be making sauces out of them, and you've got a range that go up in the Scoville rating, I suppose.
Yep. We sort of start off with call it a gourmet hot, sort of a carrot-based sauce.
So you come up with your own recipe.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of that one's kind of similar to one I had in Central America, where they sort of use the carrot as the base, but you do have more chili in there, so it's still hot.
Yeah.
And we have a yellow extra hot sauce, which is sort of made from Scotch bonnets and fatales and your yellow butts and stuff like that. So some of the hottest yellow chilies in the world, that's extra hot. Then we've got 2 from the Butt Jalokias, a deadly sauce, and then our hottest one at the moment, which is the Dragon's Fury.
Nice. I love the labels. They've got a bit of a sense of humour, because I think you do need some sense of humour around chilies. The fiery hotness. So you've got sort of the photo on the front sort of describes perhaps the contents of the bottle somewhat.
Well, it's trying to just say sort of what the heat really is.
Yeah.
Obviously, people think, oh yeah, that's hot. You know, how hot is it? Everyone's got different sort of taste buds in there. Some of us are a bit more burnt than other people's, and we can handle it pretty hot. Other people, they dig into the hottest one straight away. And
are the hot sauces sort of channeled towards a certain type of cooking, like sort of Mexican or Thai, or can they go right across the board?
You can go right across the spectrum from your eggs for breakfast, or I
love it on eggs.
Spread it on your sandwiches. You can have it on any of your vegetarian food, Indian food, Mexican, basically everything. I have hot sauce on pretty much every meal, apart from cereal.
Something I was introduced to recently was chili chocolate, and I've fallen in love with that. I never considered meshing the two together, but you've also gotten into that yourself.
Just last weekend, basically, we got our first batch of our what we called our butty dark chocolate. So we've basically taken the But Jalokia, mixed it with a 70% coca blend, made for us by Shock, actually, down the Wairarapa, who I consider as one of the best chocolate makers in the country.
Nice.
And it's just a new one we've just started trying to do, and I just thought that the chili chocolates on the market weren't hot enough, so we'll take it up a notch.
Choice. Cool. You can go and buy these online.
Yep, you can go online, firedragonchilies.co.nz, or just Google Fire Dragon Chilies and our website should come up there. At the moment it's just online. I'm just sort of down here trying to get a few shops on board to sell it as well, but mainly through the website at the moment.
Great. And there's also the Facebook page as well, to search for Fire Dragon Chilies and get involved in the New Zealand chili community. Nice one. Well, Clint, thanks so much for dropping on by, and really fascinating. In fact, I want you to come back and we'll talk about growing chilies, because are you prepared to hand out some hints at some point for people who might want to grow chilies at home?
Yeah, I've got a few hints. There's probably a little part on growing chilies on the website as well and stuff. But
cool.
It's always evolving and changing, really, and a few new techniques you keep learning to get the optimum growing conditions.
Well, we'll come back with a future episode with growing chilies. But in the meantime, thanks, Clint. See ya.